Welcome to our show, Umbrellas of Hope. We are committed to enrich the life of members of the veteran and military community by connecting them to the resources that they need. We advocate for professional and entrepreneurial opportunities and facilitate conversations of hope, empowerment, and creativity to reduce military and civilian transition difficulties and to help our veteran and entrepreneurs families to thrive. Hi, I'm Niurka, your host. We invite you to be part of this journey as we, together, bring a positive change on new beginnings, opportunity, and success. Our new mini-series will be introducing the art of business to share with you how it can enhance your life, your community, and your future. So stay tuned. Now let's welcome Daniel Faust on the art of perseverance. Daniel is a veteran and a podcast and TV host of the show What Hero to Superhero and one of the co-founders of Legrity Media. So please stay tuned.
Welcome back. I get to be one of your hosts. My name is Daniel Faust, and the topic I'll be covering today is the art of perseverance. Perseverance is very key to go over and be a business owner, and it's an art and a science because we are humans, we are emotions, we are intelligence. Let's go infuse them together to go over and persevere so you can go over and thrive no matter if you start growing or trying to save your business. Business is more than money, success, and freedom. Now, if you watch Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, no, it's definitely about money, success, and freedom, but it's more than that. Most of us go over and start a business. Most of us came to this Business and Art Infusion virtual summit because we are looking for the balance of both. We want intrinsic things and properties of our lives to go over and thrive, and we want extrinsically, we want money. Because overall, success is not final. You don't go over and just get to that million or billion, whatever dollars. You even see Jeff Bezos continue to pursue. And failure is not fatal. No one's ever completely died because of failure. Heart attacks might have happened, but failure is not fatal. It doesn't kill people. It is the courage to continue that on that counts. Winston Churchill goes over and talks about. So if courage is the roots of business, then what feeds the tree? What feeds the tree is perseverance. It is the nutrients that feeds the tree to be fruitful in the good and the bad seasons of life. If you've gone over and seen our world in the past, I don't know, more than a year, then you're going to go over and see each season that trees will continue to go over and flourish despite the problems. Is because they have a fantastic root system, but they also have the nutrients in the soil that's there. And perseverance is the same nutrients that you need. You can have a great root system and systems and processes and everything else. But when those trials go over and come, how do you go over and stay in a thriving state of mind when you have bad season or month after month, things are not going well? Susan Butcher could go relate to this very well. She was an Iditarod dog sled racer back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. She went out and she was one of the few females that did this Iditarod dog sled race. And if you've ever heard of it before, it is roughly a 1,200-mile race that goes over and celebrates how Alaska came to be and how these dog sleds went over and brought supplies, nutrients, and even health to the community. So they celebrate each and every year, but now as a competition. And Susan Butcher went into it in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s. And as she first started out, she didn't go over and do well. She had times that she went over and failed, or dogs went over and got hurt, and even a moose tried to go over and attack her in one of the races. Why did she go over and continue to go? because she had perseverance. By 1986, at the beginning of 86, when she went over and started, she had placements in the top 5, but she never made it to first place. And even the year before, she went over and had to drop out of the race because of the moose accident. In prior years, she had second, but she never had first. Why did she continue to persevere? She continued to persevere because of what was inside her. And she eventually did win in 1986, 87, 88, and then in 90. She won 4 times in 5 years. So the same thing that Susan Butcher learned is some of the things that we're going to be learning today in this brief lesson about the art of perseverance. Because what feeds people like her to press forward with huge obstacles? What feeds people like her, like Susan Butcher, to press forward with huge obstacles in the way, including the moose? But the bigger question we need to ask ourselves is, what will fuel you to persevere? Because at the end of the day and end of this summit and the end of my 15 minutes, you're going to have to go over and leave this place and go over and persevere. So I want to equip you as quickly as possible with nuggets of wisdom that you can go over and thrive with. So I have gone over in the years of my experience and what I've learned in other people's lessons. I want to give you 10 tactics to make perseverance an art form for your business that you can take inside you and then transmute that into your employees, into your coworkers, into your overall brand. The first one is an intrinsic motivation. So you as the business owner got to have an intrinsic motivation for the business. Now, initially you could have came in and this could be just for money or success and fame and everything else. And that will last a little while. But like a candle with a wick, it's eventually going to go over and burn out. The intrinsic motivation is something inside you that no matter if everything gets taken away, like if I have this marker and it's my business and the cap gets taken away, I might need to go figure out another way to get a cap. If the ink gets taken out and it's dried out, how am I going to go continue on? It's going to be a barrier. Those things are going to happen. Dry erase markers weren't just magically built and successful, and neither is going to be just your business. Those people that are successful and quote unquote go viral, they go burn super quick, but do they last the longevity? They might not, especially if they don't have an intrinsic motivation to go figure out how to deal with those trials and tribulations. So what is your intrinsic motivation? Number 2, it's got to be bigger than you. If it's all about you and going over and trying to get financially successful, there's many different ways to go and do that. You could do Bitcoin, you can do crypto, you can go over and do NFTs. You could even go over and publish a book and go make some money in that particular regard, or go over and sell something. But if it's not bigger than you, most people don't get those huge, lasting legacy businesses when it's all about them. To be honest, you can just go get employment and go get a degree and be very successful in that regard. So if you want your business to go over and thrive and to persevere through the good and the bad seasons, it's got to be bigger than you. So who is your group? Who do you go over and serve? Who is your ideal client? What is your end goal with your business when it either gets acquired or it gets to a certain growth point, or when you get to your legacy point and you go over and retire? Who are those people that you want to serve? What do you want to be remembered for? Number 3, find your kazone and perseverance will follow. Yep, we're breaking out some Hebrew. Kazone is a Hebrew word for dream, vision, and destiny. It's a fantastic book, so look it up, Chazon. This book really helped me go over and find my intrinsic motivation and also my calling. This book will take spiritual gifts, your values, and your skills and take them and merge them together so you can go figure out your individual calling and what you are meant to do on this planet. And once you find that out, when the trials and tribulations come, you'll want to persevere because that calling is bigger than the trials and tribulations. And that's why you want to persevere, is because you have a set people and you have a set calling to go over and do on this planet. Number 4, find your super fans. You can be the most intrinsically motivated person at all, and you might only need yourself. But the thing is, if you want a thriving business, especially in this virtual world, you have to find your super fans. It could be your friends. It could be your family. It could be your significant other. It can be people at work. It could be a following on Facebook, Instagram, or any social media that you go over and use. It might even just be that one person that goes over and gives you the thumbs up when things go good and gives you the encouragement words when things are not going so well. So find your super fans. No matter how many, find them. Number 5, recharge from the bedroom to the boardroom. We work, and grind it out and grind it out and grind it out. And sometimes we don't recharge appropriately. Are we getting appropriate time with our spouse? Are we getting appropriate time with our kids? Are we getting appropriate time at work? In that order, we should be getting the most amount of energy and the most amount of love out from the bedroom to the boardroom. Because if you don't, I've seen so many people go over and fail and die because they put it in reverse order. So if you need to go and work on that, I would love to go over and serve you with that. I do a 30-minute thriving session for any military veterans and first responders, and specifically this virtual summit. If you need that time to go reboot your relationship from bedroom to boardroom, I would love to go over and serve you. Number 6, fixed on the absolutes, growth on the rest. Fixed on the absolutes, you need to figure out your values that you're willing to die for in your business, or the people you're willing to die for in your business. Those things you need to stay absolute. But the way we're going over and doing it needs to be growth on the rest. You don't want to be hooked on a specific model or social media or in person, or I'm only going to do finances or marketing and everything else. When you're an entrepreneur and you're going and growing, you have to go over and say, hey, here's the values I'm going to stick on for my people in my community and what it is. But the methodologies, I need to go over and continually grow. Because if you get stuck on the things that are constantly changing that you have to grow, perseverance can be really dwindled down really quick if you go over and allow the little things you have to go over and change. They might feel huge in the moment, but they're small in the long run. Number 7, follow the greats by studying them. It might be someone that you're following this virtual summit. It might be your parent. It might be someone that's famous. It might be someone that is so small that I wouldn't know them, or maybe you just barely met them. But you need to figure out who are the greats that you need to go follow and studying them, looking at their good, looking at their bad, and looking at their ugly. Because when you see that the things that they've gone through in the good and bad and ugly, and they persevere, then it gives you that motivation and it gives you that fuel to say, hey, if they went over and do it, if you want to be a dog slayer and you see Susan Butcher going over and saying, hey, she's taking the trials of the outside and the inside and she went over and thrived, then why can't I? Number 8, document the wins, the losses, to find lessons learned. Every once in a while, this thing is still useful. Yes, it's a dry erase marker, but consider this a pencil, a pen, or a marker if you have a whiteboard like I do behind, and document those wins. What did you go over and do really well that week, that month, that quarter? What did you do really wrong that week, that month, and that quarter? Not to flog yourself and not to boast yourself up with tons of pride. It has to be balanced and humility. But what wins did I go over and do? And what lessons did I learn from that? What losses did I have? And what lessons learned from that? When you have a lesson learned, instead of just feeling the emotion, now you're going to want to persevere, because now you could take that lesson on the win and replicate more wins. And if it's a loss, you can take that lesson learned and go over and replicate more wins. So they both go and work hand in hand. Number 9, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. As we go over in entrepreneurs, we have multiple different hats. We're wearing multiple different things. We are going over and we're the person that's going over and manufacturing this and going over and figuring out this and figuring out that. You might have tons of SKUs. You might have tons of products, digital products, anything else. You might have, and you're wearing so many hats. The thing is, it can really wear you out if you look at the daunting list and say, I got to do this and this and this. I got to do finance. I got to do accounting. I got to do marketing. I got to do advertising. Take it in bite-sized chunks, inch by inch is a cinch. It has been proven that multitasking doesn't work. Even computers don't do multitasking. It looks that way, but they're doing a lot of small processes really fast and efficient. Your computer thinks and your mind thinks, hey, it's running 10 different windows. It's not. If a computer can't truly multitask, then neither us as humans. So inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. Monotask on something really well, and you can fast switch to something else, but make that little bit of progress. That is definitely key. And last, and certainly not least, which in my eyes is most important, but I wanted to rack and stack in order, because if you don't have those numbers in order, then you're basically going to be suffering. Sorry to say, at least that's been my life, it has been. So prayer and meditation is key. So as you're going over and getting set up, trials and tribulations going to come, and perseverance. Yes, great mindset. Yes, knowing who you go over and serve. Yes, knowing your kazone and your super fans, and properly getting recharged and following the greats and doing all those things. If you're not getting time, either in your faith with your God or having a positive mindset and setting that up for success, and you just wait until chaos hits, the reason why prayer and meditation doesn't work in a faith or doesn't work in a theology or philosophy of life is because we wait until the end. We should be regularly going over and doing it. It's like going over and going to a competition, a weightlifting competition, and they say 300 pounds is the minimum, and you lift dumbbells in your garage and only 5 pounds. You're going to fail. That's what's going to happen. The same thing happens with prayer and meditation. So take that on a regular basis to add that into your quiver. So I want to thank you for this time. If this was good for you, I would love you to give me a review, and I would love to go over and connect with you. If you are struggling from the bedroom to the boardroom and you're having some problems with going over and understanding how perseverance works, I would love to go over and connect with you. You'll see a link in the below that'll be connected to my link tree, and you can either connect to my books, my resources, or even a 30-minute thriving session specifically for you. So you all, hope you have a great day and continue to persevere on.
The art of perseverance. We all have go through all those moments where we feel overwhelmed, feel that what's the point? We're ready to quit. So how do we find the will to keep going? How do we persevere? Well, like Daniel mentioned, you need to find that intrinsic motivation inside of you. It has to be something that you're passionate about, that's bigger than you. You need to find your kazoo, so the perseverance will follow. Kazoo. It's the thing that wake you up every day, that motivate you, knowing exactly what you create. Why are you in this life? What are you supposed to do? Follow the grace. And get inspired by those that you admire. Read a book. Watch a show. Hear a motivational speaker talk. Nowadays, you can just watch a YouTube video. It don't cost you anything but your time. What are you learning from the moments that feel like failures? That feel like losses? From when you accomplish something? Document them and analyze them, because they're all lessons learned. Focus on the inch, not the yard. You break down a big goal into a small. Inch by inch, you can get it done. Pray, meditate. Have room to be with your family. One of the stories that I like the most about perseverance is the one about J.K. Rowling. Her book, Harry Potter. You remember that little book, Harry Potter, that they make I don't know how many movies? It was rejected by 12 publishers before they one decided to publish it. 12 times. She was living on welfare, but she kept on persisting because she knows she had a story there. There was worth telling. She had something she really believed in. Bill Gates, like it or dislike it, he his first business, Thread or Data, it failed. But instead, he didn't stop. Instead, he just keep persisting. He kept tweaking the program, and that's what gave life to Microsoft empire, the one we know today. Everybody, we have most of the Windows computers have Microsoft. So, how are you going to practice perseverance in your life, in your business? Let us know. Share with us at Umbrellas of Hope.
Merge the two. Yeah.
Have it all.
Yeah.
Humble Alpha Veteran Empowerment. Have. We can have it all. You know, veterans, as Lane was saying, you know, we have this identity that we carry with us from the time that we, from such an impressionable time in the military. And, you know, it meant something to us because it was something bigger than ourselves, something, a larger mission that filled us with purpose. And once we leave the military, you know, we sort of lose that. And a lot of veterans, they get sort of lost in this world that we live in because there is no greater purpose. And with HAVE, Humble Alpha Veteran Empowerment, our mission is to actually create that. And through our book, Humble Alpha, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, we work through that identity, purpose, and certainty. Because once you have your identity, your true identity, who you really are, what you do in this world, right? Your purpose sort of crystallizes in front of you. And when that happens,
I hope you have and will continue to enjoy this journey in creativity with us. In today's world, where artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, advancing science, and autonomous vehicles is our new normal, creativity has never been more important. This new miniseries of Umbrellas of Hope was created in order to inspire you and empower you by giving you the creative confidence to redesign the world around you, to create new solutions that are invaluable for today's society, powered by your vision, your own unique talents, and limited only by your imagination. Our world, our society, our future needs you.